Morning, I'm Ron Dean from Dean's Marine for my sins, and we're playing with one of our new models that's coming out. This is the first production kit which has been built and tested, and we will now use this to write the instructions, so you should see it on the market fairly soon. The boat itself I read about, and they're generally known as S.T.A.B boats, which is just a name for a type. This particular type is called an LSSC, which isn't very exciting, and it actually stands for Light Seal Support Craft. The theory of them in Vietnam was they're very small, very fast, they're powered by two V8 engines driving little jet drives, incredibly fast and incredibly movable. And to use them, what you do is you're loading up with seals, which is the American equivalent to our SAS, with a lot of guns, explosive grenades and things that went bang. And then you crept off at night, hence the camouflage and the radar, and you crept off at night down all the rivers where the bad guys were, and you hid up. Where you slept or anything, I don't know. But then when night came, you would creep ashore quietly, because these are very quiet, low speed, nip onto this little town, whatever, where the bad guys are, go in there, shoot everything up, blow everything up, and make all sorts of loud noises and things. Then you'd dive back in this boat, it could carry 6, and you would hurtle off back at the rivers at 65 knots. And the only bit when it's doing that is the trim tabs at the back. Like the model, it has some interesting little traits. If you overpower it, it planes on that bit, like that. If you touch the rudder, it will do one of two things. It will stand on its nose, spin round and go back down its own wake, usually parking this lot in the river, which isn't a good idea. Other thing it could happen, if you eased off a bit, it would, flat bottomed, it's a jet boat, it would turn but just carry on in a straight line sideways, which again could spoil your day if the bad guy's down there or there's something like a cliff. But apart from that, it's a really interesting, fun little boat. You can do it in all sorts of camouflage. This is what's known as navy green or seal green. A lot of them were camouflaged in green, black and yellow stripes, quite colourful really. We have done another one in that thing, that colour scheme, with a hot motor in it to really make it fly. But it's got two problems. On a lake like this, if you stop, you can't see it because the lake's surrounded by trees. It disappears. And the other one is, when you try and drive it, you don't really want anybody else on the lake because you haven't got the foggiest idea where it's going to end up. Okay, bit of fun.
Is that what scale is it? And,
it's 1/24 scale.
And do you know the dimensions off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I think it's 640mm long and 130mm wide, so it's not quite square, but it's a rectangle.
And what size motor are you using and what prop?
This one in it, this particular one, has got the lowest motor we can find, which is a little 280. And it's running on 7.2 lipos. And for this, what we've had to actually do is we've had to design and make a new propeller, because the pitch of the propeller, to get it to perform well, as you just did, right, we had to make a propeller that was 14mm diameter. Right, that was great for speed and acceleration, but what it didn't have is any brakes. So when you stopped, it made noises and bubbles, but it didn't actually stop anything, it just carried on going. So we've had to redesign a new propeller, which is 18mm diameter, but with big blades, but with no pitch in them. So it thinks it's a 14mm diameter propeller, and that actually gives you brakes, so the thing does stop. It actually stopped very well indeed. It actually stopped so well, in the first ones, all the crew went over the front. So we have to glue them in.
What I'll do is I'll just lift these out. It did originally stop.
There's a nippy little thing, isn't it?
Oh, you see it with a hot motor. Ludicrously fast. You can't actually turn it, it will actually slip round with its nose and come back on its own wake. Yeah. You see why you could never attack it or shoot it.
Have you got lighting?
built a kit, I built a castle, right?
I'll zoom out. If I go too close, I just can't follow it.
Yeah. Pick that bit of weed, I think.
I've got the drawings for that. It's beautiful.
The first time I've been seen outside our pond.